Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, when or wherever you may be. I have chosen the background that you are seeing, the traveling, the advancing of the clouds in the evening, the night in this case, sorry, because I think it's very appropriate for the message that I will be talking about. I watched the Munich conference. I watched a couple of speeches live, and I also watched a couple of the individual speeches uh, during the morning of today, which is Sunday, the 15th of February. And what I saw was essentially uh, the certainty of a world that is changing forever. And as all changes, as all change, you have good things and you have bad things. A bad thing that some will consider a good thing is the growing gap between the United States and the rest of their so called allies. Because I don't think we can talk about allies per se at this point. Because, for example, if the United States decides right now to go against Iran, as they seem to be thinking about or trying to do, trying to provoke them, I don't know what the hell they are doing. They are making a fool of themselves, to be honest. No one is going to go with them. There won't be no Danish soldiers to die in Afghanistan. There won't be no French soldiers, no British soldiers, no European soldiers, no support in bases, no support in harbors. I'm not saying that anyone will deny them access to ports and bases, at least not for now, but even that I'm not entirely sure. But it will be the United States alone. And alone is never a good place to be in. But change. Also, I would like to point out a very simple thing. Most of Americans are watching an entire different story in their media. Even the most critical media of this government of the United States, even they don't see or don't want to see or don't want to talk about all of what is happening. You don't get a critical view of things like you do in South America media. I'm talking about the ones that I saw. Asian media, or European media, or even Canadian media. Because you see, for the Americans, Rubio came, he was very well received, and he reassured his allies that all is good. This is basically what they told them about Rubio. The other crap that they spew out, uh, masking it as news. That was not what happened. Americans. Mr. Rubio came to Europe. He was well received. People shook his hand. And he said exactly the same shit Vance and Trump said, minus the offenses. So he was polite about it. Maybe because he's Cuban, so he has that Portuguese Spanish blood in him. Maybe because of that. Maybe he's a bit more polite than most of the rebel that exists in the American government, which is, I think the good definition is rebel, 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 nothing more. And in this video, I'm not going to talk about why all of this rebel is happening, but I'm just going to talk about the conference and the reactions from an European perspective. The second thing I'm going to tell you is this. I speak German and French, and a couple of more. English, as you can see, also. Not too bad, but not too good. I'm a bit lazy when it comes to English, to be honest. But I heard the tone in Merck's voice. I recognize that tone. I recognize that word of speaking. And if you don't know this, I will tell you this. English is a very basic language. Unless you are talking about Shakespearean or lyrical English, which is complex. I'm not one of those idiots that claims that, oh, English is a very simple language or whatever. No. I'm talking about day-to-day English. It's a very clear language, you know. It doesn't have none of the dual meaning that a lot of other languages have. And Portuguese and German and also French to a point, and even Spanish too, they have this unique characteristic which I consider it's a very European characteristic. So probably other languages that I don't speak, or that I only speak at a very basic level in Europe, they might probably have the same characteristic, but it's this. The tone that you use when you are speaking shows your resolve, shows your intentions when you are speaking. So for example, if I say, I'm going to give you a very, 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 very simple example, which is, are you mocking, are you kidding? Are you kidding? This expression. In Portuguese, I could say this: estás a brincar comigo? As a question. But as a question that implies that I'm asking you, if are you mocking me? And I can say, deves estar a brincar comigo. And using this tone, I'm telling you, I'm dissing you. I'm saying, deves estar a brincar comigo. This means, you must be kidding me. You understand? This is just a simple example so that you will understand what I'm trying to say. And I would advise you, if you can speak German, to listen to the words that Mr. Merz said, and the way that he said it, and the way that he speaks. His tone reminds me a lot of the German speakers of my family with which I used to speak when I was a very little kid. He is not saying things just to say. He is not negotiating to be a part of the French nuclear umbrella just because. He is not doing the negotiations with Poland and with other countries to create what will be, in my idea, the structure of a future exclusively, in this case, European army that will be a part of a greater NATO that will include countries like Canada and Mexico and other countries, but many of them in NATO will include Japan, South Korea, all of those classic allies of the United States, because the allies themselves are discovering that they need to detach from the United States. Simple as this. And I think the tone of voice is very important because, from a European perspective, Mr. Rubio, and I'm not saying this because he is not very tall, I'm not very tall either, probably a bit taller than him, but not much. He didn't look strong. He looked weak. His speech was weak. It was like he was being forced to take in a role because they could not send anyone else. They could not send Trump because Trump is too unstable. Some people say he has dementia. Well, that might be true. To me, in my view, I think he has enough wits about him to know that if he came, the position of the United States would be, he would make things worse. Be honest. If he was representing the United States, he would be making even things worse. And Rubio already made crap when he ditched meetings with Ukraine and other stuff that he did. But go watch the conference, okay? Go watch the reports on the conference. If you are an American, I can advise you to channels where you can see extensive reporting on it. Cold, normal, non-biased, non-biased report. You can watch France 24 in English or Euronews, for example. If you cannot speak any other language, you can watch them in English and learn about it. And then I would also like to talk about the speech of the Danish Prime Minister. She was very honest. She was very clear. And she revealed, I think, something that the Danes have right now, which is a sense of grief. Because they know an alliance is dead. And they are going to negotiate a couple of mineral deals with the United States over Greenland, I'm sure. But if they are able to obtain enough military support, I'm very sure that the Americans, sooner or later, they are going to be completely blocked off Greenland, because America is going to close itself. America is closing itself, okay? They are going to sell out their assets, and they are going to concentrate power in themselves. Even if the next president is a Democrat, okay, I have no faith in it, because the rest of the world cannot be at the whims of whatever lunatic occupies the White House. And if the Americans elected one Trump, they can elect another. And besides that, Americans are also going to suffer the economic backlash of the policies that their government is applying right now. So this won't be a quick process. This won't be a clean process. This has too many factors to count in for us to have a clear view of what will happen. Meaning there are a lot of uncertainties. There's a lot of things that we don't know. But what I do know is this. This is going to be a pivotal moment, okay? We have The Greenland invasion was the start of it. Now we have this conference, and what you had was China remaining neutral, saying that it wants a strong UN. Why? Because they want to do business, because they want to continue to do their thing without anyone bothering them. And if I was in their place, I would do the same. Okay, no one wants to be the next world police. No one wants to take on that role. It's much better to be just another member of the club. And people are not going to like me because of what I'm going to say. People seem to constantly be annoyed when I say something positive about China. So before I say the positive, I'm going to say the negative. China is dangerous. Their attitude towards minorities, their attitude towards anyone that questions the rule of the party inside of their borders, their attitude towards Taiwan, their attitude towards Japan, that is all worrying. So I know exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. On the other hand, you can negotiate with China. You can have agreements with China. And I'm going to say something that is going to sound a bit aristocratic, perhaps, to some of my viewers that might be either Americans or South Americans or whatever. China is an old culture, just like European cultures. We are old. We have changed a lot. We have risen and we have fell or fall. So we understand that the march of time forgives no one. That everything changes. That today you are on top, but tomorrow you might be down. And that if you want to have an existence that is meaningful and peaceful, it's better to agree with someone on something than to constantly be arguing and constantly be trying to get violently what you can perfectly have with a bit of negotiation and with a bit of common sense. And this is why I think their position was also very important, because it signals exactly that. It signals that they don't want that type of government. They want a government where they can influence things in the background, where they can continue with their normal life, have a good economy, have profit, have influence, all of that. In the future, we have to keep an eye on them. That's all I'm going to say about it. But let's continue. I have heard the Munich conference as a push to rebuild Western unity. And I think that's ridiculous. It's a push towards keeping some kind of peace with the United States. Keep them in their little corner with their little madness. But it was most definitely a push towards European unity. Even the United Kingdom surprised me. And I think Starmer is going to get a lot of points back home with his behavior in this conference. Because, and I know a lot of you don't like Starmer. I know the Scottish don't like him, of course. But if I had suffered as much as the Scots have suffered under Westminster, I would also not like him. But he represented the United Kingdom well, in my view. And going forward, this is the way to go. Uh, the United Kingdom is going to have to find a way to deal with Brexit. It's going to have to find a way to deal with European unity. The United Kingdom needs Europe. Europe is stronger with the United Kingdom on its side. But the United Kingdom has to solve all the issues that it has. The United Kingdom has Farage. The United Kingdom has Russian moles. The United Kingdom has dirty money. The United Kingdom has a city that is the laundromat of all the criminal organizations in the world. And I'm not being, how may I say, I'm not bad mouthing them, okay? I'm just stating the truth. Even criminals from here in Portugal were found whitewashing money in the city, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not giving you any kind of news flash or whatever. You all know this is true. You all know there's a part of London that was called Londongrad for a motive. You all know how your media is so biased and so bought off by so many corporations. We all know what Palantir is trying to do in the United Kingdom. We all know that X is supporting Farage. We all know about that. We all know what GB News is. So that's a lot of shit that the United Kingdom has to deal with. Just like you dealt with other things in the past. But the United Kingdom has to solve the existential question of this. That is this. You can only survive if you are a part of Europe. And I'm not saying to forego your traditions, your sovereignty. No one is saying that. I wouldn't want that to my country too. So I would not, me as a European citizen, I think we should not ask anything of the United Kingdom that we would not ask of ourselves. This is my position. But despite all of the disgust that Brexiters give me, and to me they are disgusting, and reform voters to me they are disgusting. But in the other spectrum, okay, far left extremists to me they also disgust me. Here in Portugal we have a lot of them, and they are worse than Nazis. They are worse than Nazis. They are petty, selfish little people that act as religious nuts, always claiming to know the best thing for everyone. They criticize immigration laws when we try to control who we allow to enter in our country. They criticize things like, for example, that we are doing, like, for example, increasing such dumb things as anti-littering laws and whatever. To them, everyone is corrupt, and everything is someone trying to take away your rights. Order is not the same as oppression. Order is to have some rules to order, hence the word, the world. And we all need order, okay? So to any of you that is listening to me and that maybe might think, oh, this guy is some leftist, woke, whatever the fuck that word means, I don't give a crap about that. Woke to me is the pan where the nice guy at the Chinese restaurant cooks my rice. That is all that it is to me. To be a decent person, to respect, to respect transgender people, to respect gay people, to respect people that are different from you. You do not need to be allied with any kind of ideology. Ideologies are boxes. I respect all of those people. And you have to respect them. Have you considered how hard it must be for someone, for example, a transgender person, to be born in a body with which you do not identify yourselves with? Or to be a gay person and not love like other people love? Or to be different from others, not being like everyone else? Have you put yourself in their shoes? Have you considered that? Because if you are one of those persons that doesn't do that, you are no better than Trump and Rubio and all of them. And they are even worse than you because you are just stupid. You are just ignorant. Not stupid, ignorant. And they know they can use that to play you. Because American people that are rich, man, they are having a ball. They are economically masturbating themselves in their stock market and getting millions in profit. And if you are naive enough to think that they are not getting that money, my earphone for if you are naive enough to think that they are not getting that money and transferring it to gold, to euros, maybe even to yuan, you are very mistaken. But again, I ranted off the topic, but I would just like to ask you to go and watch the Munich conference. It was very interesting. I would advise you to watch the discourse, the speech of Kallas, of Ursula von der Leyen, of the Danish Prime Minister, of Rubio, and even of Rutte. Go watch it, okay? And Macron and all of them, Merz, especially Merz, if you are able to understand it. Go and watch it. Anyway, I'm going to make a couple of more videos this week. Maybe one tomorrow. And I hope to catch you all in the next one. I would like to thank everyone for your support, for the likes, for the views. It's important to me, and I thank you. And if you are an American listening to me, I don't know what to tell you, except have hope. But I'm a bit too pragmatic to believe in hope or whatever. I believe in logic. Maybe it's a lonely place to be in, but it's a place where I feel comfortable. Because if you have logic, you have peace of mind at least. And peace of mind is very important in these days. Well, thank you all for listening to me.